Yapsuchi, Dagi Chunyin Dipe Sonamchi, Lola Penchu Sanji Drupa Sho. Chodang Soki Chognam La, Jamshu Padu Dagi Yapsuchi, Dagi Chunyin Dipe Sonamchi, Lola Penchu Sanji Drupa Sho.
Fecho. Okay, good morning.
Morning, good luck.
Anyway, talk to a little bit little meditation. Just a bit, just a bit, just a bit. Just a motion. It's okay. Yeah, that's okay. It's hard. A little hard. It's okay. Try to be patient. Anyway, everybody bring to mind, our mind to this room, not outside. First everybody think, relax your head, the neck, and chest, when you thinking on it, your thigh, leg, and feet, but a little bit relax your body. Then you keep total mind, focus to mind. Mind focus to mind.
No.
She said no. they're laughing. The total mind, mind focus to mind, thinking mind. Can you keep your mind to all your mind? A little bit. Don't listen to it. If you listen, your mind go there. It's okay.
We'll come back.
I think you guys ear good there. Anyway, in meditation means you have to usually focus, keep your mind to one subject. Therefore, bring your mind inside your mind, whatever you believe where your mind. Anyway, mind focus to mind. Mind think only mind, not others. You keep the moment, your mind think only your mind. Then you breathe out, then in, only think there, not listen to outside. In to out, couple times. How you focus your mind on one thing, one subject. Still you hear some other things, right? Then your mind a little bit more stable in your body or your mind. Then you think about this place to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, all from the you. Then they give all the blessing to you. Buddhas put the water to the flower. They come to your head, to your all the body, wash. Then you clean your mind and body, all your body. Then you think your mind is very strong, happy. And keep this happy to moment. Because you got the blessing from all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. And they give blessing, they wash you all the negatives. Then your mind completely clean. Then you feel very happy, very peaceful. Keep the mind, think that in the moment. Okay, this is enough. I don't know how you guys keep mind, maybe continue, maybe think others, maybe just listen to the sound, the agitation. Anyway, you have to remember that meditation every day, slowly. Keep your mind, slowly. You cannot keep the one time to you like this. Therefore, every day, just a couple minutes. Before you have to bend your knees, legs, you don't need to stay too long. Just 5 minutes, 2-3 minutes. if you can try to keep your mind, first you need to keep our mind, control our mind. It's very important. This technique, how you keep the mind inside. Also, you count that breath of breath. Out, in. You have just to keep your mind here. Otherwise, you hear something here, you think maybe tomorrow's, maybe yesterday's things. Our body is here, our minds go all there. This shows we are not very much focus. Okay, then switch off my English. Today,
So we should think that we're very fortunate to be able to have this opportunity to practice Dharma, Buddha's teaching. So that's how we set up the motivation at the beginning. So we should think that all sentient beings are equal to ourselves in wanting happiness and not wanting any suffering. And so we should always think of benefiting or helping other sentient beings.
I think very bad say, I wish I can have more beings, more human beings, more sentient beings.
And so even though we have this thought wanting to help others, but right now we don't have the power or the ability to help others. That's not that much. So to be someone who can help other sentient beings to a full extent, you have to be somebody who has the power, the ability, or the means, the skillful means to help them. So when we're in difficulties or danger, we call the police, right? And if we need even more further help, then we call our lawyers and so forth. So we call these people because they have the power to help us, right? So that's what we call them. And so right now we ourselves are in that wretched or poor condition that we cannot even help ourselves. So helping others would be virtually impossible. But we have that wish, right, which is very important, and then followed by that wish, then we develop that courage to go ahead and do something to help others. And so now with that wish and courage, we should try to achieve that power and skill for ourselves so we can help other sentient beings. And so, like somebody in this world now who is very famous, very well educated, known and respected by all people like professors or teachers and so forth, right? Like Nelson Mandela is someone who is respected by all the people, right? And so it's not only those who believe in some kind of religion, but even those who don't, right? So it's respected by all, whether you believe in religions or not. So he became like that by doing something, by working very hard, by studying, by doing something very difficult, which is to be done by others. So by doing that, he became like that, right?
Oh, today, but that is better. That lapdog prepared the way by now. Mechanic water, prepared the telephone in charge of the water. Kalipumu, Java limitations.
And so, same with the professor in the college, who is respected by all, became like that by studying very hard, by working very hard, right?
Oh, today the much Nimachi the co professor Chas out, Nimachi Mechanic co Nimachi the lecture in the quotation.
So it's not like he became a professor overnight and became very famous and well known overnight, right? And so by working very hard for a long time, eventually he reached to that status, right? And so right now, we're in the same condition as the original four sentient beings. We even cannot, fulfill our own desires, our own wishes, let alone helping other sentient beings. But we have the wish and the courage, to do that, right? To help sentient beings. And so therefore, we now need to work hard to achieve that power and skill to help sentient beings. And so when will we achieve that power or the ability or the skills to help sentient beings in a fullest extent way is when you become Buddha, when you yourself become fully enlightened being.
And Buddha said, 간제 dunga tsawa ni pang, nyumo ba tsawa ni pang, chini kanga, kadi na ta dunga chini mengi kanga jila, ta tashiru, ta tingla.
So Buddha is a fully enlightened being. So enlightened here means someone who knows everything, who is free of all the sufferings, who is free of all the afflictions or delusions, and who is fully enlightened, who knows everything. So someone like that is called Buddha.
So right now
we have so many sufferings, we have so many delusions in our mind, right? So many ignorances, there are so many things that we don't know. So not knowing is what we call the ignorance, right? So I don't know English very well, so I'm ignorant English. And you don't know Tibetan and you're ignorant to Tibetan. So you clear the ignorance of each thing at a time. Like for example, when you learn the alphabet, you learn the alphabet, the first alphabet, A. The letter A, when you learn the letter A, you clear the ignorance of not knowing the letter A. And so the fully enlightened being, the Buddha, is someone who knows everything that exists and who is free of all the delusions, all the obstructions. So right now we're not free of those things, right? We're not free from sufferings, of course. We have our sufferings, and we have all the delusions, like the anger, jealousy, ignorance, and so forth.
But sometimes some people ask me,
so some people ask me if they are Buddha.
Sanjay said, "Kanji, nyumo tawani ni mengi, ane ta mumba chida ye chiri mengi chasana ni Sanjay said that ya charu."
So he already gave the answer to himself. If he doesn't know if he's Buddha or not, then definitely he's not Buddha. So Buddha is, like I said, fully enlightened person who knows everything, who is free of all the sufferings and all the obstructions. Someone call like that. So if someone doesn't know whether they are Buddha or not, definitely they are Buddha.
Okay? You have to also find your Buddha or not. You have to find. You don't need to other things. Oh, I'm Buddha or not. You have the doubt, then you're not Buddha. But today, by the time I do Kachana, time I do the Tapping the Tang of Point Terrorist, I'm not Tapping of Ropoches. I'm just simply Tamchi the Ropoche now. I'm not Ropona in that, I'm just watching it, number thing about terrorists.
So when we become Buddha ourselves, when we become fully enlightened person ourselves, then we can benefit the sentient beings. But right now we are not enlightened, not fully enlightened Buddha, so we have to seek help to do all the things that we need to do. So we need to seek help from someone who has the power.
간지 샘제 탐출라 펜토에 체드 나 산지 용어 쇼스 대상도 땅 대용이 체드 땅으로 봐지 이세로.
And so we should have this wish to achieve enlightenment or Buddhahood for ourselves to become Buddha all the time. And then with that wish that we strive on doing anything that we want to do and dedicate for that. And so it says, I must achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. For that reason, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I'm going to seek help and I'm going to take refuge like that.
된지가 다 로빠치다 로빠 따라붙이 제대로 나도 Buddha Dharma Sangha 다 공부를 하지.
And so the people or the beings that we ask for help is the three jewels, the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So these are the three beings that we ask for help to serve sentient beings.
다 성도다. 다 어느 산지 주기를 먼저 로빠 간이라고 제외했어. 다 먼저 저기 말을 그래요. 간이라고 제외했어. 먼저 산지 통도 그거.
So how would they be able to help us? Right? The Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Like we haven't met Buddha, we don't even see Buddha, right? So how will he help us?
Buddha gave for us food. He came to
So we don't see Buddha coming out to help us, right? We don't see Buddha giving us a food or giving us clothing, or shelter, and so forth. So, and how do we take refuge in Buddha?
다 Buddha said 로빠 간이래 제거나 Buddha said 다 용어가 차선다 차선 시작 차선 실행 거기에 봐서.
So Buddha is, like I said earlier, right? So you have the idea now what Buddha is. Buddha is someone who is fully enlightened, who is free of all the sufferings and all the delusions, right? So now he shows us the path.
And the Sanjay Korangel Malabiris, many Chela Tabi Lamdi, Tawa Rala Shibashi is one of this.
So what Buddha said is, I can only show you the path to Buddhahood or to liberation, but the liberation entirely depends on your will. And so what Buddha has taught us is that we should not engage in any of the 10 non-virtuous actions. And so like in Christianity, I don't know, they call it what's the 10 Commandments, like that.
Is that 10 Commandments?
Commandments, yes.
Is that? 대만족은 남에게 맡겨와 주세요. 좀 나오디서 미다다 말하고.
So it's just a different terms that is used. In other words, the meaning-wise, it's very similar to what we talk about 10 virtuous actions in Buddhism.
그래서 다 갈로는 먼저 배회가 남배라나 맡겨와지 거르게 샤와라 쉬우소나 아니 저런 게 하고 이제 갈라 내가 찍으래. 그래서 때 마슈스라 그랬어.
So if we engage in any of the 10 virtuous actions, then we will cause harm to ourselves and to others. And therefore, we are advised not to engage in any of the 10 virtuous actions. So, for example, one of the 10 virtuous actions is stealing, and we are advised not to steal. And so if we steal from the second moment of obtaining that thing, whatever we're stealing, in our hand, and we'll have no peace at all.
You think you guys think it's true? What? Did you come out there? Did you come in that social? Yes.
And if it got worse, then the person or the thief might lose his life also.
Okay? Can someone give me the 10 commandments in one? 우리 지금 한테 10 commandments 지키라고.
Do any of you know what are the 10 commandments
In
that's
one,
explained in Christianity? Huh?
Covet thy neighbor's wife.
because
What is that?
Covetous. Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Nabsent. Nabsent.
먼저 되게 특이 나도 남이 중요해요. 그래서
So we also have that in Buddhism, right? We talk about that, covetousness.
되게 좋아나 라고 무시하고 내가 지금 맞대고 지금 잠으로 지금 해서 막 그러고.
So if we have that, then that will cause harm to ourselves and to others, right?
되게 맞아. 다 답시 여기까지는 같이 되게 맞아. 다만도 사지가 너무 갈 때마다 시도 마음 빼어서 같이 다또 먹게와 좀 맞게 되잖아. 체랑하고 로바고 같이 놀아요. 그래. 간이요. 그래서 나도 남바만 대셔. 그래서
And so Buddha has showed us the path, how to, explaining what are the 10 non-virtuous actions and why it is bad to do and how we abandon this and so forth.
되게 먹게와 샤와시나 사지라게 너무 말했어. 되게 제법 수술 내고 그러고.
So if we engage in those 10 non-virtuous actions, that will not harm the Buddha, but will harm the person who is creating it.
되게다 얘네 제가 타베 람 때에 다 타와라라라 싶어. 다 얘처럼 람바 때셔요. 다 제마제란 걸 말해서 납셔요.
And so that's why Buddha said, I can only show you the path to liberation, but on liberation all depends on your hand. So whether you engage in the practice or not, that's what depends on whether you will achieve the liberation or not.
되게다 너도 사지라 temptem바 람바 tom바 나고 그래서
And so the Buddha is the founder of the refuge, the one who shows the teachings.
다 죽고서 세트 다 먼저 죽고서 문이 들어가 있나다 다 명무가 가르치다 다샘 명무가 가르다 자속에 다 벌람세지 그래서 다 문이 되대서
So and then the Dharma jewel, so the Buddha jewel, the Dharma jewel. So what is the Dharma? So actual Dharma, and then there's this similar Dharma. So actual Dharma will be the true cessation and the true path.
얘는 다 대가서 가래 가서 로샤문도 시도 샤게였어 다 그런 이모도 다 하고 그래서 사우나고 벌써
But most of us, we don't know what is the true path and what is the true cessation, right? I mean, if you are familiar with Buddhism for a long time, then you might know it, but newcomers might not know what are the true paths and true cessations.
그래서 다 먼저 두말에 잡아시는 문이 됐다 죽고 좀 말했어.
And so so it is the true path that actually liberates us from the sufferings.
다 죽고 좀 문이 된 것도 다 냠내 치면은 다 먼저 먹게와 쭉 뽕베가 점식으로 왔어. 빵 맛이 다 맞춰서. 되게 말아서까지 다 먹게와 치지 누마도 용주고 누마도 잡아지 왔어.
And so even though we are not able to actually, not able to practice the actual path, but the 10 non-virtuous actions, these are like similar to the actual path. So 10 non-virtuous actions. So at least if we, even though we will not be completely free from all the sufferings, all the causes of sufferings, by abandoning the 10 non-virtuous action, but if we abandon 10 non-virtuous actions, that will temporarily relieve us from all the sufferings.
진짜 아니 사제세한테라 딱 가서 좀 되게 니바네 봐. 아니 지금 도매나 지체종나 지금 또 제종으로 강가라 딱 많이 정리 심해서 와.
And so, so Buddha is someone who has that power to show the path, who can tell you exactly what causes the suffering and how to eliminate the sufferings and so forth. So that's called Buddha is the teacher.
근데 당일날 소화줘도 한다 먹기와 저 세대군이 한다 나봐도 나봐 많이 봐 망신 투모로 오래도 왔어.
And so the 10 non-virtuous actions, just like I said, it's just a different way of calling it, but it's the same thing, right? Very similar to what is believed by Buddhists and non-Buddhists as well.
그래서 간지 먹게와 좀 맞게와 있는 먹게와 제외 이바다 딱 좁도요.
And so if we follow that path of not engaging in the 10 virtuous actions, then we'll be saved. We'll be saved from the suffering that comes from engaging in the 10 virtuous actions.
어떻게다 산책 로파 제대 두치.
And so that's how Buddha saves, by explaining us not to do and what to do and so forth.
산책이라 그래. 아니 No, I'm getting old. I don't remember. 그래. 지금 이제 또 보자는 보면 되죠. 이제 또 보자는 보면 돼. 로비다가 시작하면 되라. 아니 이제 또 보자는 보면 지금만 이제 내가 보라고 하지 않아도 된다고. 아니 산책이 똑바되는 거라 산책 걸음지 똑바는 저렇게 말이지. 아니 나중에 연못에 산책에 멤버가 샤지 타는 줄 거예요 말이지. 다 가르치나? 아니 나도 신청 말하고 땜발에 땜는 게 좋은 거 같이 그랬어.
And so that's how that's what Buddha said. I cannot remove your sufferings just like a thorn is removed from your hand. If you get pricked by thorn. You remove it out, and then the thorn will be out of the flesh, right? So I can't remove the suffering like that. And also, he said, I can't wash your negative karmas, or your sins, the negative karmas, the sins you have created. You have to be washed by yourself. And also, he said, I cannot transfer my realization, my power, my realization to you. You have to obtain it yourself by practicing, by meditating, and so forth. And so, only way I can help you is by showing the true path.
아니 수술파 내가 잡아야나 아니 차상을 당하도록 빠져가지 게드가 나도 막 당겨고 했어.
So if we take refuge in the Buddha and ask for his help, then he will help us, show us the path to liberation by telling us what is good, what is bad, what is to be abandoned, what is to be adopted, and so forth.
아니 수술 다 바래봐 맞잖아. 아니 그 계속해요 말았어.
So if we don't ask Buddha, then he will not do anything, right? So we have to ask, to take refuge in the Buddha. If we take refuge in the Buddha, if we ask for his help, then he will help.
아니 나도 근데 파치 시바잖아. 되게 나로치 맞나 아니 사지가 맞나 좋으러 말했어. 사지가 그런 생각이 들어요. 야 시바 마시나 나 좋은 말했어.
수준은 주셔야 제가 제일 어버드나요.
다 주셔야 돼서 좋은 말했어.
And so if you were to ask for the teachings, then you have to make a request. If you want to have a teaching, you have to make a request. If you don't make a request, then for special reason, you are not, the Buddha or any teacher are not allowed to teach. So if you just because you know Dharma doesn't mean you can go out and teach to anybody. The person who wants to receive the teaching, who has interest in the teaching, has to make an official request to the teacher. Only then he or she is allowed to give teachings.
그래서 나 내가 명예지나 만드시도 마셔야 되는 거 야고요 말았어. 뭐야 새로 시작했다 그 내가 예시는 그런 거다 같이 제통을.
So if someone doesn't have the wish to learn the teachings and will not benefit, then there's no point teaching the Dharma to that person. And instead of helping, it might even elevate the person, right? If you keep telling the person do this, do that, then it will not be not so good. But if someone who has an interest, who wants to learn about Dharma, and they come to request, then you can see, oh, this person is really interested, so it will be good it will be beneficial if I teach. So then it's okay to teach.
배 차샤와이나 단단 가서 가는 니마 샤면도 왔어. 니마 마샤와데 니메 줘도 나도 줘야겠어.
And so it's not Buddha's fault that he doesn't give teachings. Right? For example, the place where there's a place which is obscured by a house or a tree will not get the sunshine. Right? Is it the fault of the sun or is the fault of the place?
Waiting.
What's fault?
The tree.
Fault of the tree.
follow the tree 말해서 나도 님에나 파 마도에다 다 님은 같이 대응 거 말고 나도 같이 님아 공이 다 님아 공이 미시 만나 님에가 다 님아 공이 밑에 님에나 파 마도 전화나 대대와다 파지 다 되게 파지 돼요. I think that's better maybe my questions. 니마 더된 예 댕이 그러면 밑에 니메들은 파마로 전원을 대대와다 따뜻 니메 겨르다 아니 소소 겨르잖아. 아니 this one.
But how much are the got that they Yeah, so you can say that those there are things between the Buddha and us, which is blocking us from receiving the benefits of the help from the Buddha, right? So just like if we want to have a son, then we have to go to the place where there's a sun, right? If we keep sitting behind the house and then say, if I want to have a son, I want a son, we will never have a son, right? So it's not son's fault that we don't get the son if we're sitting there, right? So if we want to have the son, then we have to go to the place where there's a sun, right?
What do you think? Sure or not?
Is that right?
Maybe sun doesn't like us because sun
Sun is not kind of biased, right? It's not like I want to shine on this place and I don't want to shine on this place, or I want to shine on this person and I want to shine on that person. Sun doesn't have that kind of bias, right?
Yes.
Earlier, when we were meditating, we were doing a visualization and clearing the body and the mind. And so I'm hearing two things from you. One, that Buddha cannot do the practice for us. And also we're receiving some kind of blessing. So I'm not sure who's doing the washing away.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Who's doing the washing away?
right? 근데 삼바이나 말아서 샘나 근데 삼바이나 다른 말아서 조절라 추제 제대로 삼바이 시켜기도 대략은 또 시동 받아야 되는 거였어. 그렇죠. 근데 이 말이다 같이 말아서 근데 삼바이나 아니 소주 샘나 대화 요하나 소주 대람 지하나 양도 되게 제가 거워요. 되게 오시죠. 얘네들이 지와이나 근데 상대가 대화 치하나 또 되게 있어.
So when we have a positive state of mind, we listen to the Buddha's teaching and then we think, oh, that's really true, and so I should really be positive. I should not create negative karma. So when we have that thought itself is the blessing of the Buddha. And so when we say, oh, you should receive blessing, you receive blessing. When you have that thought, then that's when you really have received the blessing. So by thinking in that way, like doing the practice of meditation, or purification. And when you do that again and again, then that helps you to have more faith, stronger devotion towards Buddha, and that also helps to purify your mind, and that's why we call it receiving blessings.
소소 대화에서 미팅을 하는 나도 얘기를 와. 소소 이치에서 미팅 시간에 나도 얘기를 와.
And so if it's someone that someone with in whom we have a faith, someone to whom we respect, if that person were to say or tell us what to do and what not to do, then we listen more to that person than other people, right?
그러니까 같이 사제라 이제 야고 깨터와이나 사제 라도 되는 거는 양이 지도 그래서.
So more devotion, more respect, more belief we have in Buddha, that much more we will take his advice.
어떤데 임바이다 같이 누구 다 사제라 대화제야 다 수수상나 대화제 탑시돼서.
And so these are all means to develop faith in the Buddha and peace in one's mind.
오케이? 근데다 산지가 같이 공로 마사들랍죠. 공로 산나 저랑 공로 사회 동안에 양교를 해서 추수 때 캐내더라고요.
So Buddha said, don't get angry. If you get angry, you suffer. Do you accept that?
공로 사회가 또 강해진데 왔어.
We have the difficulties. We experience suffering after we get angry, right?
그래서 공로 사회 영어로 공로는 저랑 동안 양교를 해서 아주 지나셔야지.
So Buddha said, don't get angry. If you get angry, you suffer yourself.
그래서 그래서 그래 내가 담을 남대서 다 두르자는 거죠.
So that's how Buddha shows the path.
어떻게로 아니 딱 먹여왔지 저 따친님이 라고 하는 거지 먹여왔지 가는 거 샤워를 마주 대주나 되게 동아대 전화가 있냐고 주무신 바야 놓지 그랬어.
And so we don't go through each and all of these 10 non-virtuous actions, but any of the non-virtuous actions, if we engage in them, then that will cause us suffering for ourselves and also will cause suffering to others.
다들 좀 만도 쌈 세지는 것도 고로wan 도마 고로 사요 말했어.
And not, so most of the time we don't, intentionally get angry, right? He says, "Oh, I want to get angry, so I'm going to get angry." It's not like that, right?
Are you guys do this? I want to show anger there. You know, right? 얘나야 다 같이 나는 많이 나도게라. 나세 슈침부 저르스는 나 누가 줘.
So, but anyway, so what makes us angry, is the grasping at the self, right? So that we have this most strong clinging or strong grasping at the self, I, the ego.
다 줘도 고르는 네 값대로 고르 사게 돼. 주더라 고르 사게 돼.
Do you get angry towards a table or towards a cup or inanimate objects?
When we was kids, we get angry, right? You guys play, we played and we heard something, we get angry. Then parents or someone punishment, we feel, more happy. Now we are grow up, then we never angry, the tables. If sometimes, they fix something, then just walk, then just talk. Usually not, right? We always angry, who is more close to us. Then it was, then 다 가리는 거는 어디는 나도 로파를 왔어. 그래서 그러다 나도 로파를 로파로 사고마로 같이 싸워.
So usually when we get angry towards a person who is more close to ourselves, right? To our family, to our friends, to our parents or children. So these people are very close to us, right? They're our friend. We should not be getting angry towards them. Right? Why do we get angry towards them?
Example, we are all, I think we are all family. We can talk anything, no problem. For example, sometimes husband angry wife, wife angry husband, right? But husband's best friend is the wife, wife's best friend is the husband, right? Right. You get this, I don't know. But we don't want angry our best friend, but we get angry automatically, Now why? What happened this? What's wrong? 다 그래서나 서로지는 나도 쉬지 못해 되게 제일 그랬어.
So that is because we have this strong ego in our mind, and that is what's causing us to get angry.
다 가리려고 그러는데 내 사망나지 제마서 나라 고안하게 제일 먼저 생각하더라고. 그거 사기 왔어.
So why we get angry is because somebody didn't do the way we want the things to be done, or didn't say the way we want them to say the things, and so forth. So because of that, we get angry, right?
Are you guys, whether you guys fight, do this? I don't know. I don't have experience. But this, everybody. Usually we think we are the right person. Whatever we say, whatever we think, whatever we do, this is the best way. Then someone says, oh, this is wrong. Then we just looking back. It's true. Then we get angry.
So even if he doesn't want to get angry, he gets angry, right? And so therefore we should try to reduce that ego from our mind.
Little water. Every day little water. 샘치스도 나도 찍바 직장 강가 수수 대원대등 직장 찍바 직장이 말이야. 그래서 저 야가다 나도 괜찮아 나야 돼.
And so all sentient beings and ourselves, we're all the same, right? We're exactly the same in a way that we want to be happy and we don't want to have any sufferings. And also, we're all the same in having the delusions and being under the control of the delusions. So therefore, we cannot say, oh, I'm right, you're wrong, or you're right, I'm wrong, and so forth.
근데 이제 남도 남배들라 싸워가니 싸워 미시바 마리바 뭔가 대래 스타트에 와서 그랬어.
So the bottom line, the main cause of all these problems is the ignorance, not knowing, not knowing or ignorance, being ignorant to the reality.
미시 뭔가 마리 받을 때 나도 내가 뭔가 도서 제대로 봤어.
So because of not knowing, then we made all these mistakes.
Right? Even who doesn't know how you're driving, then they get also easy to accident. Who doesn't know how you use the computer, this one person me, he always mistake. And then always the stock doesn't work. Well, today I know Mishiba Mariba Tira Teni, Tanumanga Yes.
So because of not knowing the ignorance, then we get all the other delusions as well.
Or today in the Kadina Nga in some day, Chanashingio Mares.
And so thinking that, I know, I can do it, and so forth, that's mistaken.
Okay, that thing on which the Nambek and Roda Kajina Nambek choose a day, Kaji Suzu Sim Yavat Tantami, Talachas and Yamaji, but Nambu choose.
And so that's just like the general teachings of Buddhism. So Buddhism is like a tool, to help us tame our mind, train our mind or tame our mind.
What? And not to show up here down, Kushaya down to Zuta, Nambek Chu, Chashina. So we need to send your time.
So like you see the practice of making water offerings, flower offerings, or building statues and building monasteries and so forth. So those are just a condition for practicing Dharma. So the real Dharma is something that transforms your mind.
If someone asks what is Buddhism, don't give the answer to build a big temple, build a very big statue. This is not the right answer. Buddhism means transform to our mind, cultivate positive mind, abandon negative mind. What's the negative mind?
So the negative mind is not knowing, ignorance.
And cut. I say, I know also the problem to it. Also, I know I forgot the Tibetan also. I speak a little bit English, Tibetan. I forgot the Tibetan what they are saying. Positive mind,
Correct?
positive mind.
Positive mind.
Anyway, I think now I forgot all the names. You got the positive mind. Give I think give us I think I want to more study Tibetan, more talk Tibetan. I don't have chance much talk to Tibetan, I listen my Tibetan. I don't speak English. Usually I speak also one Tibetan language we call Dropa. My main language is Dropa. Now I can speak with Dropa with my language. I didn't study 20 years. Now sometimes I could talk on the phone, and I always sometimes miss English, sometimes the different Tibetan language. Then they always compel me. What's wrong? No, I'm okay. All the time, all things forgot. Anyway, this is all ignorant. That is that give us some said Karna, Kanji Shambada, Ijiada, Jimbeji Samba. What religion are
So the virtuous mind or the positive state of mind is the good minds, like the loving kindness, compassion, altruism, and those kind of minds.
Okay. What the thing over the ta such a chum the not Karela Vesana. Ta Chana Devan to Dunga Medona. Chana Devan Dona, Deve Joku, Dunga Japan,
And so we have to understand what is the suffering and then understand the cause of the sufferings. So if we want to be free from the suffering, then we have to understand that first, and then understand the cause of the suffering and eliminate those causes.
What? Today, but that Cheag is Ramushrayo Maris, is the Ramushrayo Maris.
So we don't have much time to do that either.
What? Penang Mamsu Tas, Jenny, you got Jashi Day watching. Good day, that's also some of the social locations.
So, for example, if suppose we are going to live until like 80 or 90 years old, and then so each of us we can think we know how old we are now, right? So say we're going to live up to 80 or 90, and how much of time is already gone now since we were born?
And
then the half of that time will be spent in sleeping.
And then 파지체도 갈아사야다. 드시치치야 치차로 그랬어.
And then the other time we spend in doing other things, eating food, preparing the food, and so forth.
다 냠내치에 대해서 제가 림보시에요. 파트너 로자지나 림보로 와나 파치고 투지고는 제가 림보를 하면 돼.
So doing all other things, we don't have much time left, to do our practice, right? And so even though it looks, it looks very long, 80 years old, 80 years is very long, but when we subtract all this time doing other things, then there's very little time left to do that Dharma practice.
다 되는 인바인자. 그래서 다양한 미 삼도 지렸어. 당가 주말로 가시지는 같이. 아주 잘면 제대로 지내서 또 요래서.
So but we always have this thought of postponing, right? Says, okay, I'm not able to do now, but I'm going to do maybe tomorrow. I'm going to do maybe next year, or maybe after some time, or maybe after I'm retired.
어떤지 다 사기가 되나? 된게 지나 대화인데 누가 문제 좀 거를 저랑 대세 림보시라야 말다. 싫어고 해서 나도 딱 나도 마대 나도 남주는 고 마대 같은 말라고. 다 사기 그래. 사기 잠깐. 그저 그렇게 생각이 됐어.
And so then Buddha says, we have to practice Dharma, but we don't have much time left because we're going to die. And so we're not going to live forever, and we're going to die, and we don't know when we're going to die. Could be sooner, could be sometime later, but we're definitely going to die. So Buddha is someone who speaks very straightforward. So even though we don't like to hear the word death, but we have to.
I think Buddha is very similar. Usually, no Buddha. I'm the Kamba. I think I'm very like Kamba. I'm not nothing me. Usually Kamba dialects very style. Style looks very Buddha because they talk very jerkily.
Straight.
Then usually people doesn't like Kamba because they're too twisted. 드리는 바자 간지 드리는 다시 단다 드리는 거 남을 제일 나갔다 지와 못하고 세상을 다 지기로 해서.
And so anyway, this is where we were talking about here in the text, right? About death and impermanence.
당도 때 권이 좋으면 저도 권이 좋은데 좋으면 권이 좋으면 나와서.
So you don't want to hear about that, right? Do you want to hear about that?
No, we don't want to. Even we don't want to say people feeling too old to make it very accurate. 그러나 대 남남만하나 저런 계획도 남남하고도 가디나 닌딱 빼지는 거라. 니레 몸은 개고 자는 거 그래서.
And so whether we want to hear or not, the fact is that we're going to die, and every day we're getting older and older, coming closer and closer to death.
뭐 드리자 대조시험 해봐도 다 단단하게 대리적으로 그래서 소소 카운터한테.
And so since we don't have much time, we should do it right now. Do it today, do it right now.
그래서 아니 개도 그래, 아니 공도 그래, 아니 나양 그래, 라고 그래서.
And so we become old, we become weak, and we become sick.
그래서 지난 조보체고 대리체고 그래서 그렇다 남자가 쪼그라 대리해서.
And so therefore, since we're going to die, therefore we should do the practice right now.
다 가르치고 파티시는 가르쳐준다. 콩도 사원은 콩도 때도 많이 열었다. 저도 사원은 저도 때도 많이 열었다. 대리는 당하더라고 그래서.
So what do we mean by practicing? So practicing is like I said earlier, transforming our mind. And so when we say transforming, which means changing, right? And so changing our negative attitude to a positive attitude. So if we have an issue with the anger, then anger is not good. So we should try to not get angry. And that we should start from right now. We should start practicing to not get angry from right now. So try to reduce the anger. If we get a lot of anger, so try to reduce it as much as possible.
다 주주로 올라와야나. 나도 코로사한테 왔어. 못다 땅안에 넣어야 네. right line 그 스톱 채우나. 문 뒤에 되게 딱 누구 쳐야 돼. 세컨 찡이네 코너야 놔나. 나도 치러라. 뜻게 하고 왔어.
So like small case, like when we're stopped at a red light, and then when it turns green, and if there is a car before you, and then the person doesn't see the green light, and then he just stays there, even for a second, right? and you get angry. Say this, right? Really nice. Why are you not moving, right?
You got to
So
do this.
angry very easy. Right?
You got to push this all day. Honk, honk, right? Now we can say, look at this kind, fourth pitch, not too much different, right? But we always, Albert used to angry, they just, our best friend just come over. Then you can see someone driving, they do something a little bit wrong, then we say, we can show the, you show the angry, you say this, right? Then this means this guy person doing wrong, right? If you do this, come. But if you do like this, then means the person not watching the side thing it was.
So it's just like a gesture, what's going on? Why are you sting?
But the little country, the country, my partner, and each other liars.
So we have to start from reducing those small angles, and then eventually big angles, and then completely.
Okay, now let's just finish here. Okay, I'm sorry, that Kaji Danang lab that which now make a true chetan negado, some mental, never told, Yame Chetan, that's all of the rest of.
So this is what we we're talking about. Is about the general Buddhism in general and how do we practice, how to train our mind and so forth.
Is that to go ahead, tell the mama or some of this, right?
So don't think that's don't think that you're not don't think that I'm not moving on with the text. So even though I'm talking something else, but it's the same thing, whatever the text in this book is the same thing that I was talking earlier.
Okay. That is the time that Jim Gussie done
And so here in the lam-rim test, when we're meditating on the death and impermanence, it is advised us to think about the 3 roots, right? The 3 roots and the 9 reasonings.
And it's our never Chava, Namching Neba, Neba Meba, Chivi Chuma to Kangi, Pangamaris, 1,000 days.
And so the 3 roots are thinking of the inevitability of the death, thinking that death is certain, right? And then second root is thinking about the uncertainty of when you will die, uncertainty of the time of death, right? So we don't know when we're going to die, so that's the second root. And then thinking that nothing will be of any benefit at the time of death except Dharma practice. Those are the 3 roots. And so each root has 3 reasons. And so the first one, is the death is inevitable, right? So the death will definitely come, and nothing will be able to prevent that, right? So nothing will be able to stop us. So we already have talked about that. Is no matter what sort of body we have, no matter where we go, no matter what method we apply, we'll never be able to escape the death. So nothing can prevent the death, right? So that will definitely happen. So that's the first reason. And then second reason, is that it says thinking how nothing is being added to your lifespan and it is always being subtracted from. So that's the second reason. It's the outline number 140. I don't know what page number it is. 307. Page 307. Outline number 140 if you have different text. Different version of text. It says you will definitely die. Anything that is precipitated by past karma can have no further additions made to it. So, for example, this flower has the potential to stay fresh for a certain amount of time. Right? So when that potential kind of degenerates, declines, then the flower naturally becomes older and older. Right?
Maybe scientists they do some injection, they can do something. 공부 책이 니바 그들 좋아해나 고소 차고도 왔어.
So it's the potential that keeps them, fresh or alive, right? So same with the plants, the grass that turns green. Then when that power, the potential is gone, then it turns yellowish or brownish and so forth, right?
대용한테 니마치기 용어를 해서 세보 차를 니마치기 용어를 해서.
So that becoming yellow, did it happen overnight?
One day, not a moment, second, second moment, day by day, month by month. You call nipa tono, that's chibares.
So that's how in a slow process, right? It consumes its power, potential gets consumed.
Vade lambos, nimi jajemela, kichi rela, chodola, cheni doro mos.
It says each moment you are getting closer and closer to the Lord of Death.
You guys scared? Buddha does this is not Buddha looking to for us to Krishna was.
So it's not Buddha trying to frighten us.
You know, Buddha said, it is my understanding, it's my experience, but you are allowed to check. He give for us to investigation. You can go to Google, you can go to scientists, go to MIT, you can check what Buddha's words. You know, I just said
So this is what Buddha experienced, and then he taught us. So whether it's true or not, we can investigate ourselves.
What today? What day?
June 30th.
June 30th. Then the 30th dollar, 30th number Jenny, get 30th the ring down okay, Omar.
So can you make it longer? Can you make it longer and not have it gone by the 30th? When it's time to go, it will be gone, right? So tonight at 11:59 it will be gone, right? July 30th is gone from that, and after that, after 12 midnight, then it's 31st or 1st? July 1st.
Now we get the time, 11:20, almost 25 or 30, 25, right? 딱 나중에 쟤한테 봐 재워줘야 봐 대셔야 두두 거는 그 너도 봐 대냐 그 정도로 집어로.
So same with the time, right? The time will keep on moving. So even if we shift the stick, the clock to backwards, but and that will not add the time, right?
왜 대선 거 러시아로 와.
So time keeps going, right? Keeps moving.
그래서 사실 라이트다 위에 내색이 지금 다른 트리버는 튼바 위에 내색은 넣어야 되다 그만 해야 되는 거죠.
So what Buddha is saying is very, very true, with what what actually is, what it is, what things are actually, and how the scientists has proved it.
사이언스 라게로 그냥 내려 차서는 그것도 제일 직진은 어떤데 니마 내가 되게 됐을 때 봐주 배제 당 정말 그것도 다다 제잡셔요.
And so the scientists they can find out how long it's going to last. They say okay, from this time to this time it will be okay. For after that it cannot be used and so forth, right?
들리면 제대로 다 쉬운주셔야 되지. 단단 야원 개발을 해서 공부처럼 년수 더봐 요면나 세도 따도 그게지. number 그네 요마인 달라. 근데 이제 다 시차니 공다 예와이나 니가 나와이나 대와이나 로와이나 칼라 사와이나 니코와이나 아니 마게도 니버자 요마레스 단 근데 스치려면 다 나를 가르치는 요레스.
So then this is what Shantideva said in his guide to the Buddhist way of life. So why should one like me then not die if every day and night without fail his life is always getting shorter and no additions to it come from anywhere?
어디지? 다들 어디지? 다들 주는데 고위 무시로 와 빼나 탁장에서 뻔나 강다 강주비 왠지 되나 뚜바 따라서 만놈 소장 대전에 오세 다들 빼나 되는 som도 와세.
So here, then the next one, it says sayings of the Buddha. It says, suppose one stretches out a string and a child follows it bit by bit. The child will eventually come to its end. So it is with people's lives.
주소 내 타선 다음 돈이 와. 가지고 있는 좀 말이야.
Got it?
무슨 내 타선
Tabat. And so, if you pull the string from fabric, the fabric is all made of string, right? So you weave it with strings. So if you remove the string, and then the fabric will be gone. So at the end, it will be gone, right? So just like that, the life of the person, people will be gone like that also.
Do you guys walk any place? People to walk this with the
Fabrics, clothes. Anybody work in factories?
No, you guys know how you make. You guys know how you make this? Okay, anyway. What the page? That you would Java Kasan Jan Muji Kurukulla Center. Musula did was Jenny Kitchen Samsi Dawan Mepas, that Jenny Kitchen Dawan Maris.
And then the seventh Dalai Lama, Geshe Ngawang Tenley, also said, after birth, you don't have the freedom to rest a moment.
What do you think? You get freedom of your rest. And we say, oh, today I don't want to go walk and rest. And that share your sit toilet, to toilet, no, Maris, it's economic system.
But you can't rest from the life. The life keeps on moving, right?
What you can think, it's true or not? What? Maris, Chito Shinji told the Pansaji Jubas, that Chito Shinji Jubas, you know where is it?
So it's in the race you run towards the Yama, the Lord of Death.
It's true, right? Even if you can stay 50, 60 years. Now, today is gone, then the last day, okay, that is not also one was.
One less day. One day less.
We are not running, look like this, but anyway, the moment running. What is it? And the Sumbo Sayan, Chibi Namchilla, Chandri, that Sumbo Sayan, the Kajita, Shiva Lamkar, then was it.
So this is what we call living, is about a journey on the highway to death.
And then Nietzsche Sosa Tripping notes are nothing the Jovas, that never chewing. Sosa Trido, not that the cheaper that pay Joe the was.
So this unhappy is the mind of a criminal being led to his place of execution.
Right? But the little joke, I did say two.
So it's, that's similar to our life. Our life is similar to that. It's becoming shorter and shorter. Every step we make, we're walking towards the death, towards the place of execution.
Now this kind of we can think, it's true or not.
So is it true or not? We can investigate ourselves. Is it something just Buddha said to frighten us, or is it really true? We can investigate.
제일 손바지 쟤네에서 쟤네에서 취비빨 우리를 예탐이야 도비 까봐매봐 방사지 주발래자 조발을 주는 로시스 그래서 다우 우파지 다 수도가 되면서 라고 대담을 거기서 정도 해서요.
It says, in other words, once you are born, so you rush even faster than a racehorse to that state and get no rest even for the time it takes to draw a few breaths.
And the juana tipo meso to say I'm there.
So if there's a race horse, maybe they have time in between to rest and take some break, but we wouldn't even have that.
And it's all and yet
Becoming closer and closer to death.
When I never separate talk, combat can combo come, say between the temple and none of such attention was. And nearby just saying the same children, combat comes second children, of course, said that to you, cover super.
And so it's in the sayings of the Buddha, it says again, those up for slaughter get closer to their executioner with every step they take. So it is with people's lives.
What? 단도 간제다 된제 이바이다 다 추진은 추단의 책을 드리는 책으로 해서.
And so therefore, if we practice Dharma, then we should practice from today, from this moment.
너 루치 세다 쳐파나 공부를 해서 쳐반 명하나 라차데 제니 쳐반을 카쇼데 샤데 좀 들이 니파 메스 치바르도.
So just as a sheep being led to the slaughter yard gets closer to death with every step it takes, at no time, once we are born, we do we deviate from the direction of our death.
Not say Chatham says how about music, that should have your life,
Since we have already used up so much of our lifespan, there is little of it left.
이 대양 우리도 추서다 나와 로소 로송의 대치겠 년칭도 샤바를 했다게 고용해서
And further, we use up our breath and our breath, hours, days, months, and years. The day is coming for us to die, and the so-called time to go comes suddenly. So we should not be complacent and think, "I will not die."
아니 로렌도 세와지 로버도 몸이 추모 5년도 달려 되어진 대사요 말해서
So it's so-called time to go, like time to die comes suddenly. So we should not be complacent, and think, "I will not die."
다나 이 국가야 아래 로데 나 셰치마스 셰치도라 카테니 데이터 보이스로
And so even when we sleep, we may be relaxed and happy, yet we are still rushing directly towards the lot of death.
we will think true or not. 그래서 당문이 내서 이 말해서
So this is how things are in reality.
근데 이마다 다 가래서나 나도 나에게 깨와 마시다 개념이 그랬어.
So in Buddhism, we believe in past and future lives.
그래서 다 깨와도 깨사했어. 지금 보통만 샤시오는 소소소 또 전에 로에 간다 소통을 해서.
So this life is already all set, kind of all set. We already are born as human beings, so we will have all the means to survive. So even like animals can do that. The birds and animals, even they can do certain things to keep themselves alive.
그래서 딱 가서 뭐 대를 때 지금 리바노스가 나도 아니 요자 차이다 다 제가 심하게 캐는 거 때라 팽마지 다 지고 그래서.
And so we, human beings, of course, we live it better than animals, right? So our life is already all set in that sense. So since we're human beings, we should do even better than animals. So better than just being able to keep ourselves alive, we must do something more than that into our life.
아니 세딩 수수 가서 이제 가서 양으로 뒤에 내가 제마든가 다 주로 되는 거다 자치고도 집어로 왔어.
So if we spend our time, the time of the human life, just feeding us and making sure that we stay alive and so forth, then that is no difference from the animals and birds and so forth outside there. Even they can do that, right?
간다 세들은 그래서 지금 만나와 맞아와지 지금 세모가 지금 저 이거 답이 제대로 왔어. 그래서 맞아와도 답이 제대로 와.
So they can apply any means, also in all kinds of means, to not stay hungry, not stay cold, and be comfortable and so forth. Even they can do that, right?
아마도 보게 되고 아마도 가진 거 통으로 왔어. 아마도 보고서 지야 만나와 가진 거 그거 또 보자 또
And also like they're able to take care of the little ones until the little ones are grown and are independent on their own.
근데 이마다 다 계시라는 것도 들어를 체험해서 참 맞아서.
So don't think that Geshe says we are no different from animals.
이는 삼삼 쇼를 해서 들어를 뛰어야 돼요. 그래서.
So, but this is the reality. This is really true. If we just use our life for that, then we're no different from them. And sometimes we're even worse than them.
어떻게 간지 겨워심을 제를 겨워심을 뱀뱀이 제와 가는데 추세셔요. 그래서 줄로 계는 것도 근데 다 제거를 해서 다 가르치거나 다 공로 사오나 공로 마사스 차도 사오나 차도 마사스 세나 사오나 세나 실험 마제스.
So on top of being able to keep ourselves alive by feeding us, by clothing us and so forth, what we should do is we should do something that will be of some benefit for ourselves in the future lives. So what will be of most benefit for ourselves is the Dharma practice, practicing positive things, like not getting angry, not killing, stealing, and so forth. So if you are getting angry, then try to reduce the anger, try to understand the disadvantage of the anger, and then try to make it less and less every day.
아니 저도 남바야고 제거나 저거금 그래서.
And so, then if you want to be born, like I said, we believe in past and future, so there's a future life. So in the future, if you want to be born with a good look, a nice face, nice figures, then you should practice patience.
그래서 패션의 되게다가 누구부터 야보야고 제일 말해서 이제 좋지.
So if you practice patience, then you'll be born as beautiful.
그래서 다 가서 너 패션만 다 내가 좀 최단에 따서 왔어.
And so then, but if you practice anger, then you will be born an ugly. So maybe we didn't practice much patience in the past, so that's why now we have to use all other things to make ourselves look beautiful.
In order what we have to put the morning, the evening we have to wash, the back too much work, right? 근데 산로 있다는 근데 이나 맨날 같이는 미카시 이거는 제용도 지금 남바 야포 남로 치고도 같이 가리 차상 마사와도 되었어. 그것도 산로 땅 그러더라.
And so this is what Buddha said, and there's nothing really we can do to investigate about that. And based on other things, then we will come to believe that. And it's very true in that sense. And otherwise, what makes us look different ways? And some people, they're naturally born very beautiful, like don't have to do anything. Some people, they're born very ugly and do lots of things. So what makes the difference like this?
근데 동조 친구 제가 안에 다 가로. 지금 다 모르겠어.
And then if you want to be born as wealthy, then you have to practice generosity.
It's all to correct. This is 그래. 대용도 미카시 시전에 저처럼 된게 됐다.建筑的 시전에 소소를 내려가는 거로.
And so of course there's a lot to do with the condition from outside, finding a good job and so forth. But the main cause for that success, for that wealth, is the practice of generosity.
또 배회를 소절했어. 다 소소 토배 걸라서 뭐 가래가 다 소소 연결을 해서 이거죠.
So there's the saying in Tibetan that whatever is drawn on your forehead, that's what you're going to get.
그래서는 내 야보서는 되게 되고 야보의 소소 연결했어. 내 두자는 되게 되고 두자도 소소 연결했어.
So it's like saying, that drawing is like creating whatever karma you kind of karma you've created. You have created a good karma, then you will have a good result. And if you have created bad karma, then you will have a bad result.
공로 사는 동안에 사와에는 되게 동안에 소소 연결했어. 다 파조 연도 연결했어.
And so if you get angry, then the suffering of getting angry will be experienced by yourself. Of course, the other person might also get uncomfortable, get the feeling of uncomfortable when you get angry towards them.
다 단순히 렌트도 문제고 되는 것도 다 사직을 나와주고 말이었어. 근데 렌트가 문제가 다 빠지치고 그랬어.
And so not only believing in what Buddha said, but we can also see ourselves and see, do we really get unhappy, when we get angry like that.
Okay. Let's just talk. We finish now. We started some shots today.
And so we'll stop here for today and can think about those things that I just talked. So if you have a question, maybe we can have one or two question answers.
Give the very, very strong question. Strong one. Never introvert.
It's a meaningful question.
Meaningful question.
Make sense questions.
Yeah.
So when you talk about when you talk about doing performing actions for the benefit of your future lives, like giving, like being generous to become wealthy, does that really create good karma if you're doing it for yourself? You know what I mean? Like you have yourself in mind, like this is what I want for myself, so I'm going to perform this action, which causes good karma.
대만에서 그런 데까지 야구를 봤어요. 이러고 말하고 좀 있잖아.
그런 거랑 맞다. 책대마다. 책대마다 말하고 하셔도 나한테 책에는 사배나.
그런 데 있었던 그런 야구 말했어. 그런 데 봐줘가라 패백이 제대 저거래서.
또 겨와도를 보라.
나 겨울로 작업했어. 그때 그까지 제책을 왔어. 제단하고 봐줘가라 패백이 제대 식사마지 손을 주고 마스나나 나는 겨와 되게 많이 그랬어.
Yes, of course it's virtue. It's a positive karma. Positive karma, you're doing it. And the thought, thinking that I'm going to do this for the future life. So that itself makes it the virtuous, makes it Dharma practice. Of course, that's not the best motivation. So the best will be to gain enlightenment, and then the medium will be to liberation, to gain liberation. The third will be to have a good rebirth in the future. So that is the least, the good motivation, but that's not the best. But still, that's the Dharma practice. Yes, you still create good karma. Yes.
가져다 만두 배나 제와이나 나라 펠베시도 제일 라바이나 엄매 코도 지어진 걸 제일 제거를 봤어. 내가 샘지라 펠베시도 제일 사마 랑크 마크와이나 아니 또 개와 또 제거를 되나도 마음에 딱 놓아놓은 거였어. 이제 놓아놓은 거.
So, what makes it virtue or not depends what kind of result it brings, right? So, if it's going to bring a good result for you, then it's a virtue. If it's going to bring a bad result for you, then it's not virtue, right? That's the non-virtue. So, because practicing that will bring you good result in the future, in your future life, therefore it's a virtue. Okay? But that's not the best one. Of course, if you can think that, oh, instead of thinking just for myself, if you think for other sentient beings, in order to benefit other sentient beings, then I'm going to practice generosity. In order to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings, I'm going to practice generosity. If you think like that, that's the best.
다 제대로 돼서 소문에 다 남지 나도 몇 강갈 때 깔 시간에서 제대로 돼서 저도 깔 가고 돼서.
So it's very difficult for most of us, right, to be generous. Is it? Is it difficult to be generous?
Everybody does. 근데 제대로 돼서 제시와이나 가지고 마주 남나 체했어.
So if it's not difficult for you, then it's very good. And then you can practice that and then do it for the best reason, like for gaining enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings.
근데 일단 지금 소주 칼라 사바이나 대신 바탕이 지금 인사비 상마치 제로에스 소주 끊어 야보치는 걸 밖에 사바이나 노에스 애지 샤시오로 지금 보내 왔는데 쏙 제가 다쏙 흘러서 되는 다 지나가지.
So so the generosity, which means the giving, right? Giving. If you can practice giving, then there's many ways you can practice the giving. So there are three different kind of giving we talk in general. So the giving of the material thing is one thing. That's what we normally know as known as giving. But then there's also giving of the advice, giving of instruction, giving of teachings, the Dharma teachings, and then giving of life. And so if you see an insect about to die or in the middle of the road, so, it may get killed by a car or somebody may step on, so then you take it away from the path and then put it in the grass or somewhere. And that's like protecting its life, so giving of life. And then if somebody needs advice on what to do and what not to do, and then you can give them. That's also giving. And like even when you're eating food, if you can think, I'm eating this food to feed the germs inside my body, so I'm giving this food to them. Okay, even that can become a giving also.
Right? We have eat every day, right? We have to eat every day. There are a lot of germs inside our body, a lot of germs, right? Germs, bugs,
Bacteria.
Anyway, look at that, okay? Then, any other question? Okay, okay, thank you. If you have a question, then I've shut up my mouth. Okay, thank you.
Please turn to page 39 for Thanksgiving mandala offering.